Oh,
109.
yes, sorry.
Yeah.
109, which is the...
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a
It's just a rod.
road
Yeah.
corridor item. So
But my apologies for not being...
no. That we've got to this a little later than Pauline expected. So would you like to move the recommendation?
Yes, I'll move the recommendation in 6.1.
And seconded by Phil Clearwater. Is there any discussion, Yanni?
I think this is the stretch of road where every tree got clear fell. Going in.
I'm not sure, Yanni, I can't recall, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Can a staff member assist with this, please?
Well, I don't think it's near new subdivision, it's just near the existing St John's Road.
Right.
Because of the construction of that road, we're actually putting a little slip road in to gain access.
Okay, can I just raise the issue that I'm really concerned at the number of trees that seem to be getting knocked down in this area. There's some very well established trees, and I just think I am really concerned. So can I just ask staff to consider how they can minimise the loss of mature trees, and also is there a cycle? It doesn't look like there's any off-road cycle way being provided. Is there a cycleway being provided or not?
On John's Road?
Well, my understanding that there is. It's shown there as a metre gap between you've got the pavement, you've got the other road, then you've got some grass berm, and then you've got a metre and a 3.5 traffic lane, a 3.5 traffic lane. So
we're putting cycles right next to where the big trucks are going.
This is an NZTA project, it's not a council project.
Okay, I just think it kind of seems really silly to be putting a cycleway next to where you've got oversized heavy vehicles that will regularly be using this piece of road and not actually put it on the area where you've got the slower traffic. And so do we have any say in this? Can we, is there anything we can do to try and bring some logic to what's been proposed?
This is not the item that we're discussing. What we're discussing is that they're proposing to provide a residential service road as part of their Western Corridor upgrade, and that requires 7 parcels of land to be declared road and vested in the Christchurch City Council. And as part of the proposal, they're constructing the road at their own cost before the vesting. So this is not a discussion about what's happening on the Western Corridor.
Okay, no, fine, but I guess there's an issue when we're vesting road. It's a bit like, I don't want to bring up Noble because I hate bringing Noble up, but it's a bit like when we're vesting or agreeing to roads in our area where you've got really kind of designs that don't make any sense. Why wouldn't you try and get a better design?
can I suggest that that's something perhaps we take up with the Transport Committee, because as the Mayor has mentioned, this is related to the residential being, so if we can, the environmental, I beg your pardon, so we can, yep.
The question is, could the cycleway in this area be placed in the area that's being vested in council so that
This is an access road. It's going the other way. It's an access road into the residential area. It's not part of the Western
not
Corridor.
parallel.
Have I read that wrong?
No, that was my understanding.
Madam Mayor, I wonder if, just in terms of this though, the NZTA wants something from us. They are building a Western Corridor, the design of which on page 109 does have cars hard up against trucks, which is daft. And I wonder when we go back to them and say, hey, yes, we're fine with this, but here's the thing, when you build roads, actually physically separate the cycles from the trucks and the cars, please.
The design of the Western Corridor is really done and dusted. If you actually look at large parts of that corridor, it's already been constructed, and you'll see that there's a road set aside for cycling, but not a specific cycle lane on that Western Corridor. All the information was there was very few cyclists using that road, they used other routes.
Well, I'm not surprised because they get killed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have any room for negotiation on this one, Jerry.
They've almost completed it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I drive there That's the route I use to go to the airport, and it's pretty much done.
Okay, that's fine.
Except they're now going to do an overpass, which will, I know. All right, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. Carried.
There was one other issue too that I did want to raise, and that was 4.3, which is in Part B. And we had a deputation from Emma Twaddell and Jonathan Korf from Sarah the St Albans Residents Association with regards to the community facility that is on Colombo Street. This was built as a transitional facility by Lions. There has been some tension between the Residents Association and the council. Prior to the earthquakes, the community centre was essentially run by the Residents Association, and there was some suggestion that Lions wanted this to be run by the council. However, the board decided, as you'll see here, to write to the Lions Club to explore the possibility of the centre being handed back to Sarah the St Albans Residents Association for them to manage. And we have had a response from the Lions Club, and they have said they hope that the use of the facility reflects the need of the community. They will not oppose any strategy that we, the community board, that is, wants to negotiate with council for optimum community access. So that's something that we will be exploring further with regards to the community centre.
That's very helpful. So we've got the... I thought we'd dealt with that. Public Works.
Yeah. Yes. We've done that.
That's
Yeah.
additional to the report. That was
Yeah,
new.
no, sorry,
Yeah.
I just had in front of me. So we've got now that the report as a whole be adopted, which Ellie Jones is moving and it's being seconded.
Really, really simple question. I understand now lerping and all sorts of new verbs, but what is talking of buses?
Yeah, I was
Where is that?
On page 113 at the bottom,
Northland Super Stop site.
going to write to ECAN to ask about the talking of buses, but I'd just like to know what it is before I...
Talking? Well, isn't that the angle of the turning? Well, just give me the number again, sorry, Vicky.
Right at the bottom of page 113.
Right,
to
okay.
the right.
The issue there is that when the buses, because of where the bus stops are by the houses, cars are coming down Papanui Road towards the city, if you like, and people who are pulling into their driveways are coming up alongside the buses, signalling to pull into their driveways. The buses can't see them and pull out, and there have been some near misses with the buses pulling out, which I think is the talking, it's the movement. Isn't that what talking is? Come on, I'm not.
I'll see what we think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can someone second the motion and we can discuss it? Bill Clearwater, Yanni?
Question, I mean, it's, the board's funding a foot clinic at a church.
Yep.
I just couldn't quite understand.
Okay, well that was raised and talked about as well, because initially there were some concerns expressed by a local podiatrist, particularly around health and safety, if this is not going to be and that was a fair comment as well, and we discussed it, and it was confirmed that essentially this is a community service to create connections for the community, to have a cup of tea. There is a health issue to check people's feet. There isn't any cutting or breaking of skin, so there's little potential for there to be any health and safety issues. If there were problems noticed by the people who are doing this, then they would be referred to health specialists to take care of it.
Right, so this is kind of like a community development type initiative by
Pretty
the local
much.
church.
It's if you want to call it anything, a drop-in centre so people can look at your feet.
Just so you know, Ellie,
Mm-hmm.
the first definition of talking that Google has is a male version of twerking.
I just read it too.
A man wildly trusts his pelvis.
Sadly, there was none of that when we visited the site.
You were probably saying. Well, have your feet.
Obviously much more interesting.
Yeah. On the Super Stop site visit, I was just a little bit concerned around some of the issues there that you're sort of having to deal with there, including the disposal receptacles for cigarettes and additional rubbish bins, because they were both issues that were raised in the Riccarton section. So can you just make sure that the community board reports on the report that you received, because I really would like to
Absolutely.
see what happens with that.
Yep.
All right, I'll put the motion that the report as a whole be adopted. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. Carried. Spraden Heathcote Community Board.